Welcome to the Americana Bistro Grill. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, serving you the best in Americana music. Right now, from my office in the heart of Kendall, to the mountains and the forest and nature of Tennessee, and to other places around the world. I'm here with my favorite group, Gleewood, who is Jet Schiavone and Callie Schiavone. And for me, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you back again. And you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want, here and all over the world. You can ask me, or one day if I want to do an interview, let's go for it. How's been everything nowadays, music-wise?
Well, it's a very interesting time. Obviously a lot of our gigs have been canceled. We've still got a few gigs that haven't canceled in July, but we're just kind of waiting for those emails to arrive. Most of our friends have made it back from their European tours that they got stuck over in for a while. Musicians are starting to come out of quarantine little by little. But I think a lot of artists are using this time to write. I know our fans have been extra supportive on keeping us afloat during this time, and we're so grateful to them for that. It means the world, because that just means that it's given us time to do the things that we don't get to do on the road, which is write and practice and create and prepare for the next record. So that's kind of what we've been trying to do with our time. And so although we can't play live, which we miss very much, we are able to keep pursuing music in other means, and we're very grateful for that. So
yeah, we in the Americana Bistro Grill have also helped and supported you a lot.
You have, man. Thank you so much.
For me, it's been a pleasure and an honor supporting you in your worst times. Because let's face it, let's be real. You rock. And on top of that, I managed to convert 2 other people who listen to me to your music. Someone challenged me to the G letter. Name me something that begins with the letter G. So I said Gleewood. And I gave them the YouTube that said "Rock and Roll is Dead," and they loved it.
Oh, nice!
That's awesome.
I also mentioned to another rock singer from Canada. Her name is Sabrina Fala. Really great singer. I dream of her. I dream of her performing here in America. I also hope to have her perform with both. You both perform with her. In one of my interviews, which I'm going to send you, I asked the proverbial question. I said that Gleewood recorded a song or made a song that said rock and roll is dead. They said that rock and roll was dead. What is your take on it? Because I'm trying to show that rock and roll is alive. And she gave me much more insight that we're going to be coming back roaring. Excuse me. No, I didn't get the virus. I just choked on the chicken that I was eating.
That's okay.
Rock and roll is going to live and come back. I can see it. I've heard all of your albums, and definitely, the only thing that we need now is a Woodstock.
That's right. I know.
We need a Woodstock.
We almost had one this year.
We were almost able to put one together with Robin Cage in Utah this summer. Maybe one day soon we'll be able to put a little festival together that's in honor of our favorite music.
Yeah, we have to pull off. Given the way things are today, we have to pull off another festival like Woodstock. We need to. We need peace in this world. I'm just imagining the Woodstock that we would have. It would have to be either in Tennessee or in the Florida Keys.
There you go.
I say the Florida Keys because I'm just about a stone's throw away from the Florida Keys.
Nice.
And you could have all the Woodstock there. I was thinking about you, Robin Cage, Sabrina Fala, other groups like 3RG Miami, Instant Karma. Who else? I'm also thinking of Robin Tricker. Everyone from Texas, Utah, you name it, everyone in the Keys. If we can't do it in the Keys, do it in Homestead, or if not, let's do it in Tennessee. But let's do the Woodstock. Whether we get the money, I don't know, but we need a Woodstock.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
And she more than proved that rock and roll is alive and kicking. And for me, it's kicking because I hear your albums every day.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your support.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you find some awesome music too. We just got introduced through you. Nikki, I can't remember her last name, but she did the Bob Dylan tribute and sings a lot of Joan Baez songs.
Oh yeah, Nina Ricci.
Nina Ricci. Oh,
Nina Ricci.
She's great.
No relation to the perfume company.
Nice. But
There are many people are saying you're promoting a perfume company. No, Nina Ricci is one of the greatest. I've never heard. I've tried to get her interviewed many times, but she has a lot of time on her hands. I've also had a lot of time in my hand. She's one of the greatest. Her interpretations of Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, it's like being there. And and yet, were there any other artists that I introduced you to besides Nina Ricci?
Quite a few.
But that's the most recent one.
Yeah.
That's been the most recent.
Yeah, because.
But yeah, I mean, you've done great interviews with others and good music that you post, and we're just honored to be among a list of real artists who are really expressing themselves genuinely and organically and originally. So thank you.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor. I still remember. For me, I have to repeat it. I still listen to White Rabbit. I listen to your version. I listen to Jefferson Starship, but I ended up doing your version, and it's beautiful.
Well, thank you. I mean, it was so fun. You know, we've known Robin for years, and she was touring through New Mexico and played some shows with our folks down there, and we just wanted to play something together. It just sounded fun, and we pretty much had thought White Rabbit would be the best one to choose, just from her fan base and music influences and ours, and we're just so thrilled that it came out so well, that she got to tour with the Jefferson family, and we're just so proud of Robin. And she just released a new single today, Shape of the Future to Come. It's great.
Yeah, I heard it. I have to interview her about it.
Good.
I will. But I have a long line of interviewers because, like, I want to help these programs, especially my Friday nights. We have in Spanish there's called Viernes Social. My Viernes Social used to be eating out at restaurants and just preparing for the videos on Saturday. So I had to change everything and do my Viernes Social or Social Fridays, interviewing everybody. And I've interviewed a lot of people. Which leads to my next question. You're now in Tennessee, but you're originally from New Mexico, right?
Right.
Okay. This is going to sound a little bit ridiculous, but I'm going to say it. What is the difference that you have seen between the music scene in New Mexico and the music scene in Tennessee?
It's not even. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's not even the same.
It's not even really
It's not even comparable.
Because New Mexico is such an artistic, colorful, amazing state, but there's just so few people. And I would have to say that New Mexico focuses more on visual art. You know, we have such incredible painters and artists.
Like George O'Keeffe.
That live there, inspired, yeah. So it's very cool. And then the music is so varied. You know, we have so many influences, but it's just few and far between. We don't have... sadly, we're not as famous as we should be for all kinds of artists who've actually come from New Mexico but relocated, or vice versa. And Tennessee it just had a much longer time to develop this list of artists and musicians that live here. Of course, Nashville, being Music City, is huge, but then you have Chattanooga, you have Knoxville, you have these places that have been a welcoming home, and really the people of the state have been very encouraging with live music for a much longer time, whereas New Mexico's had other focuses, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and New Mexico just doesn't have the musical history like Memphis does,
Right,
Memphis, Tennessee, and some of these other cities. So, we're bumping into second and third generation music, career musicians here in Tennessee, whereas in New Mexico, a lot of us play music for the art of it, and not so much for the career of it. So it's different. It's a different thing altogether.
In other words, New Mexico it concentrates more artistically, naturally, and Tennessee is sort of like, since it's well established, it's sort of like they're not that natural.
Well, they are. There's some amazing players here and high caliber talent that I've run into a lot of people that I can truly and honestly say are artists at their core.
Oh yeah.
But it's just a different. This is the out here. It feels like, and we're still fairly new to the area, but it feels like music is more of an established industry, like farming or ranching in certain areas. So there's like just these, like Jet was saying, generations of people performing and writing songs, just generations of it. Whereas in New Mexico, there has been that. It's just so fewer, and then people move away, and so there's just a certain caliber of expectancy on what you do with your music here in the state. And a certain seriousness that people bring.
Whereas in New Mexico, there's plenty of serious musicians who are career artists that are fantastic. I'm not saying that, but it's just fewer and far between, and it's interesting as a culture clash.
And we were talking about that too a lot. We're always comparing, and we miss the Rocky Mountains.
We miss the state as an inspiration.
We miss the state as an inspiration a lot, but
the people.
I was just on the phone today with 4 other musicians that we're going to be collaborating with throughout the week, and it's like, man, we could never do that back home in the same way. So there's pluses and minuses to both.
Yeah, Tennessee also has its plus. When I said about the music and everything, Tennessee has a great music too. I'm also glad you're in Tennessee. I too have a desire to go to Tennessee. The last time I was in Tennessee was in 1981.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm talking about when I was 19 years old and I didn't even have white hair or glasses.
Nice.
I had the black mustache and everything. All of my hair was black. And I do want to go to New Mexico one day. I do know, besides you, there was another group from New Mexico that I loved a lot. I'm trying to remember what they were called. They were called. I'm trying to remember. My mind escapes from me. They were a group from New Mexico. Their parents were from Mexico as well. I know that the main singer was Lorenzo Antonio, and the group was called Sparks, a quartet of 4 women.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I loved Sparks, how they would sing not only in English, but they took all of the old traditional Spanish songs and sort of gave it a modern feel to it.
Cool.
And loved it. But I'm glad that you're here in Tennessee. You say you're recording with other groups in Tennessee. Will this develop into another CD by Gleewood?
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you have another CD, you have another interview, because you're breaking the rules in innovation, and I love that.
Thanks.
And
we like breaking rules.
We do.
Don't worry, I'm a step ahead. I'm not a step ahead of the curve. I'm just following you and just doing my own path. It isn't easy doing the Facebook Live, but I'm doing it. And of course, I'm not even wearing masks or anything unless I'm told to. I'm in my hippie moment here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm in my late 50s, so I lived it. So I still have that dream of, let's do a one Woodstock and get everybody together. Because that the other reason also I interviewed you, because we have to have more music. Not only Rock and Roll is Dead, but I also liked your other albums. Have them played all around, and then we also want to see the future album. And we also have to see future videos. I want to see this.
Yeah.
I want to see the Smoky Mountains. If you go to New Mexico, get the Rocky Mountains also as well.
Yeah, we will. we'll hopefully get back out on the road again for creative projects or visiting family or playing shows. Right now, just like everybody else, it's just each day, you know.
Yeah, day by day.
We've got a lot of plans, but it's up to the Lord what happens
Yeah, of
next,
course.
because God has been a huge part of our lives and really guided us in different ways. And thankfully, because He's so awesome, we've been able to really take this whole coronavirus and all this stuff in stride and with peace, because it really was the perfect storm for us, because we had to cancel our last European tour due to some illness, and then all this stuff happened, and things really have worked in our advantage, which, you know, we attribute to the sovereign grace that takes care of us.
That's right.
Because we wouldn't have been able to plan it that way. And so this album that's coming, hopefully, is something that we've been taking our time with. We take our albums seriously, like everybody does. We really like to give a lot of time to it. It has a very long gestation period, because
Of course.
we really want the songs to come from a good place in our heart, and this time off has been really good for our hearts to recenter and to write some new stuff.
Yeah, in the future, when you do this future album, this leads to my other question. You, before all of this hit, vinyl was making a comeback, and I remember that there was one Texas singer. She's a millennial. She was born in 1983. I remember seeing her video in the year 2011. Excuse me. I said I choked on one of my supper. So, not that I'm having the virus or anything. Is that I sort of like.
No, but
My desire was to interview my favorite group. That I went very fast with my supper.
nice.
But my question is, based on this singer Phoenix, not Phoenix Hunt, Phoenix Lee or whatever her name was, that I remember, she did a CD and an album because she wanted to compare the sounds of a CD and an album or vinyl, and she said that the vinyl came out better than the CD. Before all of this happened, vinyl was making a comeback. I was going to many record stores, and some areas of the CDs were making room for vinyl. Which leads to my next question. Will your next album also include a vinyl?
I sure hope so.
I sure hope so. That's the plan. That's the hope for sure.
Because if we do have vinyl, I'm gonna set aside some money from my blog so I could buy the CD and the vinyl
Thanks, man.
and have it autographed. I buy all of your items. For me, when this whole thing hit, I was afraid. The first part, on a personal basis, I was afraid something terrible would happen to our great country. And I had even once thought, I'm gonna leave before they close the doors on me. It's a thing that I have because my family came from Cuba, and before that they were from Spain, and I didn't want to have to repeat history.
Right.
At the same time, this is when my wife Marilia was undergoing treatment in Puerto Rico. She had to stay in Puerto Rico 2 more weeks while I was pulling my hair. I only pulled my hair 1 night or 2 nights. Then I was also thinking, the artists, we cannot be without the music because we have to have peace. I started interviewing all the artists every day, in Spanish and in English. And then one day I decided to do, since I didn't have any Friday nights, I just simply decided to put everything into Friday night, from 5 to 12. I would have usually included you on Friday, but I wanted to include you on Saturday because I was booked yesterday. But even then, I still wanted to include you. I did everything. God, I always have faith in Him too, because without Him, we're nothing. We're nothing. I went to God, and in addition to going to God, I said I wanted to contribute to some of these groups, not just promote them, but actually give them the money. I had some extra money. I know that Jesus once said you should not publicize what you have done. But I had to give to all of my artists, especially the favorite ones that I have.
Thank you.
Especially you too. I was afraid for both of you and everybody else. I gave.
Very kind of you.
I gave. I don't know how much I gave.
So much.
I don't know how much I gave, but I gave. I even gave to the Health Alliance of Austin Musicians.
Cool.
I gave to another
That's
group.
great.
I gave to another group, the Rocky Mountain Musicians. I don't even remember the names. In the Health Alliance of Austin Musicians, I gave in the name of all the Austin musicians that I knew that were my favorites. And the one in the Rocky Mountains, I gave one in favor of one of my other favorites, Caitlin Cannon. Because I didn't want the music to die.
I know it looked pretty scary there for a second, but I think a lot of artists have been able to find new ways to diversify their art and keep going. I hope so. I hope that no one's given up, because you shouldn't give up. That's the number one
That's
thing.
right.
You know, it doesn't matter. Everyone has their own version of success, and you have to remember that and not compare yourself to others. And in this situation, with everyone being in the same boat of not being able to continue their lifestyle like they would like to, we can't give up in pursuit of that dream of playing that music. And you know, it's important for people like you and us and anyone who feels compelled to give to you know, whoever you is laid on your heart to give to, and that's special. And that kind of generosity and that kind of love and support for people of all lifestyles and careers is what's going to save, you know, each nation. Is the generosity and the kindness.
Yeah.
And that's what's also going to keep the art alive.
Yeah, I didn't want to give.
You know, us artists have to have humility as well. And like right now, I've been able to find some side work as a gardener and you know, get out in the sun and work with my hands again. And you know, although I'm not making a living playing music right now, I know it's going to come. So I just got to do what I got to do to make it through this time, and put in the hard work. You know.
Yeah, of course.
And the sun's going to rise again. You know.
I know. I my day job, I'm a physician. I did my day job, but I don't actually see patients. I deal with the insurance companies.
Oh, wow.
To deal with the insurance companies is a big headache.
That's intense, man.
Since it's very tense, and it's very tense, and I use music like yours also to calm me down. Another reason why I contributed, but my biggest reason was not that because I had to deal with insurance companies or deal with insurance companies that lack feelings. It was the fact that I was afraid that if we didn't have the independent musicians, since they're essential, if we don't have them, and if we don't have God, our country and other societies could fall apart. Right now, you see mainstream music. I am not going to criticize mainstream music. The only thing I'm going to say that I have turned off mainstream music a long time ago and started listening to independent artists. All that I have in my CD box and in my car, if I don't have the music of yesterday's, of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even before. Yeah, because I also listen to the classics of Cuba and Spain in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I listen to those too. I even listen to the Celtic music because my father's side of the family was from Galicia. And my mother's side was Basque.
Yep.
And I listen to those, but if I want to listen to really recent music, today's recent music is not cutting it. And since it's not cutting it, instead of protesting, I do the next best thing. I listen to the true independent music. You are actually maintaining true Americana music. I know, but it's much more than money. It's also connections. I've even seen it in the Spanish-speaking world. I know.
That was clapping.
That's a poor class.
But in the Spanish-speaking countries, you have the same thing. Mommy, I want to be a singer. I want to be a singer. Boom. No talent, but they have a hit. Unquoted. and then they have people buying the albums. But I'd say forget it. I want to come and listen to the true artists, and it's artists like you that are keeping alive. And again, I've gotten a lot of converts, which reminds me of a lot of converts. I want to interrupt this interview by saying to my public, please, I want you to listen to Gleewood, buy their albums, listen to their music. They're really, really great. This is a revolutionary group in music. Never have I heard them do Rock and Roll Is Dead. Their videos are like out of this world. I don't know what to say. You have everything, the music, the videos. Please, you could buy them at any digital platforms. What digital platforms you have that are available for your music?
Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, Bandcamp. Our website is gleewoodmusic.com, and you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram as well, searching Gleewood. The term is an old medieval term, and we play roots rock music, folk rock, and rock and roll. It's a little bit all over the place, actually. Our musical heroes are bands and groups from the late 60s and early 70s that also played a wide variety of genres with folk instruments, and so that's typically what we do. So if you do find us across the social media platforms, please say hi. We run all of that ourselves, and we love connecting with new people. And like you mentioned, Roberto, we know a lot of other musicians, and so we like to point any of our fans to any of our friends as well to listen. And we typically do tour full-time across the U.S. and Europe, a lot across Spain, and we will hopefully be visiting all those places again very soon. But please connect with us on any of the social media platforms so that we can play for you.
And I should be releasing my first song in Spanish on YouTube on Tuesday. So I'm pretty excited about that as well, Roberto. So we'll get that to you.
We'll get that to you.
Oh, I want to hear it too. You're still there? Are you both are there, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I just want to be sure. I just want to be sure because the reception here is erratic here in Miami. But as I was saying, no, I want to hear Jed in Spanish. I want to hear, and when you release the album, also let me know. We'll also do the interview in Spanish, so we could reach all of my public in Spanish. And of course, I also have a gift for you. Like you give gifts to me, I can't give maybe I might make a copy and send it to you. It's your address in New Mexico. But yes, I might send it to you either by mail or I could send it electronically.
Oh, nice!
Sweet.
This is a character. This is a character that's going to be the new symbol of my show of the Americana Bistro Grill in the AG News show. This was drawn by my cousin Reynol in Cuba. I'm also promoting his art. If anybody lives in a country that has diplomatic relations with Cuba and can go to Cuba, I can't. My insurance company doesn't cover my trip to Cuba. I already went to one communist country, and that's enough, which was China. But if they want to go to Cuba, please visit Reynol. Ask for him, and he'll give you a caricature, but you have to pay for it.
Good.
He only gave it to me free because we're first cousins, and I haven't known him. I don't know him. I've yet to go to Cuba. I was born in Ohio to Cuban parents. I couldn't go to Cuba, but at least I could go to Spain, and that was enough for me for the time being. But I will be sending you either this by mail or we could do it electronically. The mail part is just black and white, but the electronically has all the colors.
Oh, cool, yeah, maybe electronically. We'd love to have that.
Yeah,
that'd be rad.
Yeah, and that's a souvenir that I'm going to be sending to all of my artists that they're interviewed.
Cool.
And I want to hear all of you more hits from you, and we're going to be spreading Gleewood. We're going to be spreading Gleewood a lot. Thanks for all of your albums, and in addition to thanking you for all of your albums, I also wanted to thank you for coming on such a short notice, and also showing the beauty of Tennessee. You're making me want to go back there.
Well, thanks for all your hard work, man, and your dedication to the arts. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And on behalf of independent musicians everywhere, God bless, and thank you very much.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor. Right now, I'm going to be saying my goodbyes to everybody, but I want to say my goodbyes to you separately. I can do it because we're not on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. For everybody in the Americana Bistro Grill, this is our Americana Bistro Grill special. Many people call it the lockdown and quarantine concert. I'm calling this the Unity Special. Why Unity? Our country, our republic. I want to make that clear about the republic. It's that God has so given us is being very brutally divided. And we cannot survive divided. The Commonwealth of Kentucky, their motto is united we stand, divided we fall. I also think there was another song, a rock song by that, I don't remember the name of the group, but they sang the song, united we stand, divided we fall. Part of my singing. But they did that, and we have to be united as a nation. The only way we could do this is not the politicians, not the governments. No governments have resolved the issue of unity. I'm referring to worldwide. That's why Ben Franklin said that government is a necessary evil. But Ben Franklin also once said that you cannot change freedom for security. And he once said that we could have a republic if you want the republic. He knew that because he knew very easy that our republic or any republics can fall if we are divided. What has kept America together? God, musicians, and sports. And the musician part has been very important, especially when many musicians have recorded original music, such as Gleewood. I want to congratulate you for continuing the tradition that has been started a long time ago, since the beginning of our country, and singing the beauty of our nation to the world. For me, it's a pleasure and an honor to serve all of the musicians in any way I could do, whether it's monetary or having programs like the Americana Bistro Grill. But I'm not doing it for me. I don't desire fame and fortune. Whether I get it or not, that's another issue. But I don't desire it. It is my desire that you, as the musicians and singers, get all the publicity and get remembered. Whether I get remembered or not, that's another thing. Of course I love to be remembered. Who doesn't? But it's for you, the musicians. For you. You are essential. Never forget that. If anyone says the musicians are not essential, they are wrong. They are essential, and we need musicians now to calm the waves of hatred that is threatening to engulf our republic. We need musicians, we need singers, we need people who can inspire and unite and promote this great country of ours. And in addition, on the need of musicians and singers, we need you also, because you're providing the original music to a society that is losing what is original music. But now with all of this, we hope to regain it. And you know what? We're not lost. This is just simply a mild bump on the road. I want to conclude with all of this. I love to say that this time in America reminds me of the time that I went through a nasty divorce in 2011. My second wife, Maria, she and I were boyfriend and girlfriend when we studied medicine in the Dominican Republic. And then we disconnected and we reconnected 22 years later. But during that 22 years, I was married. We had our ups and downs. Unfortunately, my wife and I had different opinions of life. And unfortunately, different opinions of life. If you're a married couple, you either have to have a similarity or if you have differences, you have to work around the differences.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I could not work around the differences, and my wife and my daughter held Democratic elections in my house in Miami, and by a vote of 2-3, they threw me out. Since I'm a firm believer of democracy and republics, I left. But again, the divorce was nasty. Everything I went through was very nasty during the year 2011.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
I almost lost everything. I was like in depression. I was like in the state that America was in right now, in too much turmoil. There were times when I even found refuge in a rural road here in Miami, Florida, called Chrome Avenue. Chrome Avenue takes you from Fort Lauderdale to the Keys without you going through downtown Miami. At that time, it was a place where there were many bars, many not so good and not so great, and some great people. It was there where I discovered some of the independent artists that helped me. I also started getting in contact with the independent artists as I was starting my blog, consolidating it, and including all of the artists like you. It was your music that kept me alive. After that, I went and accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior. And of course, after accepting Jesus Christ as my Savior and listening to all of your music, my life got way back on the road. I got back with my previous girlfriend Marilia. We married secretly. We didn't tell anybody. Then we let the cat out of the bag 1 year later. In the hippie moment, our wedding was a hippie moment.
Cool.
No church, no nothing. Her, myself, her uncle was the pastor, and we had the what it was called, the witness.
Yeah.
The witness was just surfing in a place called Rincon. He was there with the surfboard and the bathing suit.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is a hippie moment.
And then we married, did our hippie mode,